I am going to speak about the NPL banking crisis as the economic problem of the country. A banking system is a circulatory system of an economy. But what happens when that system gets clogged? India's non-performing asset crisis offers a stark answer. It shows how weakness in credit allocation, corporate governance, and regulatory oversight can quietly destabilize an entire financial system. What is a non-performing asset? A non-performing asset or NPA is a loan on which the borrower has failed to make repayments for 90 days or more. By 2018, gross NPAs in India scheduled commercial banks had peaked at approximately 10.4 lakh crores, about 11.6% of total advances. Public sector banks were the worst affected, with NPA ratios exceeding 14%, pushing several institutions to the brink of insolvency. The crisis did not emerge overnight. Its roots lie in the credit boom of 2004 to 2008, when banks, largely state owned, extended aggressive loans to infrastructure and real estate firms, often under political pressure and with inadequate due diligence. When global commodity prices fell and domestic projects stalled after 2011, these loans began to soar rapidly. For instance, several large infrastructure projects from power plants to highways remained incomplete due to land and regulatory delays, leaving banks stuck with billions of unpaid loans. The consequences were far reaching. Credit growth slowed sharply, private investment declined, and what came to be known as the twin balance sheet problem, where banks were burdened with bad loans while corporates were too indebted to invest, became a persistent drag on economic growth for nearly a decade. During the whole situation, there were the three structural barriers which made the resolution particularly difficult. First, governance issues in public sector banks. Government ownerships continued to influence board appointments and lending decisions, often blurring the line between commercial judgment and political priorities. Second, a historically weak insolvency framework. The Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, introduced only in 2016, came after years of ineffective recovery mechanisms that delayed resolution and led to value erosion over time. Third, the practice of evergreening, where banks rolled over bad loans to avoid classifying them as NPS, effectively postponed recognition rather than solving the problem, allowing risks to accumulate beneath the surface. At its core, the NP crisis is a governance failure wearing a financial mask. While the Reserve Bank of India asset quality review in 2015 and subsequent recapitalization packages exceeding 3.5 lakh crores helped stabilize the system, the underlying incentives remained only partially addressed. The sustainable reform will require more than temporary fixes. It calls for deeper changes in public bank ownership, stronger credit appraisal mechanisms, and faster, more effective judicial processes for debt resolution. Because a healthy banking system is not just about lending, it is about lending wisely. Without these reforms, the risk is not just another NPA cycle, but a structural slowdown in India's long term growth story. Thank you.